Hello, I'm Reverend Michael Mugford, and I'm part of the ministry team at Harbour Woodside United Church, along with the Reverend Krista Elizabeth Wynne. Living together in community is not always easy. Sometimes that community is a natural one that is formed through family, and sometimes it's a constructed one, a country, a town, a neighborhood. When each of us are at our best, each person brings their own talents, gifts, and dreams to the community with the hope that it will contribute to the whole. On the downside, however, we also bring our past, our prejudices, our preconceptions, which can sometimes come in conflict with others in the community. We can't determine how others will react to us, but we must, however, be intentional about how we confront our own prejudices and preconceptions. When, as we have seen, one group oppresses or imposes their prejudices on another, we end up with pain and injustice that spills out over people's lives and causes them to react in ways that demonstrate that hurt and that pain. We see protests and calls for change that have been occurring over the last number of weeks. We need to find good ways of open communication so that we who have been the oppressors can listen and learn from those we have systematically harmed and subjected to violence, intolerance, and prejudice. We need to stop, we need to listen, we need to learn, and in the way of Christ, we need to ask forgiveness. If we're going to claim to be followers of Jesus, we have to realize that Jesus' call to forgiveness was not limited to seeking forgiveness from God, but we must ask one another for forgiveness as well. We're called to find ways to create and maintain relationship with each other. In the prayer that he taught his first followers, there is a direct correlation between asking forgiveness of God and finding a place of repentance and forgiveness with one another. There are those who might say, we have asked forgiveness of Indigenous peoples, and we have asked forgiveness of the Black community, we've asked forgiveness of the LGBTQIA plus Two-Spirit community. Isn't that enough? Jesus replies that 7 times is the prescribed number of times to ask for and offer forgiveness, but 70 times 7 is an act of truly seeking to come into right relationship with one another. Hopefully those we have wronged are willing to continue to walk with us as we seek forgiveness, that's 70 times 7 and more. Our repentance, our apology must, however, be ongoing. It has to be sincere. In the church, to be blunt, we have screwed up time and time again. We've not always been the poster child for the good news of God's justice and harmony. We may take small, faltering steps, and they're good, when we ask the forgiveness of the Black community who continue to live under systemic racism by stating unequivocally that Black lives matter. But if our actions don't support our words, how can we truly find reconciliation? And many of us continue to recognize the racism and injustice to Indigenous peoples. This coming Sunday being First Nations Sunday, we in our church ask and acknowledge the lands in which we live and worship as being the lands of First Nations. If, however, we are not ready to show in concrete ways how our apology is anything but words, how will people hear, and how will they know we're sincere? And in the name of faith, we have truly hurt God's LGBTQIA plus Two-Spirit people. And we need to own up to our actions and ask for forgiveness and work in a way that's ongoing to ensure that we are present and accounted for as allies, as friends, as family. These days call upon us to look inward and to acknowledge that we still have much listening to do and much pain to hear. It will be a hard path, but it will be a wondrous adventure. Because if we work hard and if we work well, we will begin to see the healing of all people, which is truly the desire of God's heart. We will need to ask for and be forgiven 70 times 7 and more. But we should not lose heart, because we're not alone. Our fellow human beings will help us along. And as importantly, Christ will walk with us, within us, and God will guide us each step of the way. Just some thoughts for today. Peace.